Dr. Abdullah, let's start with yourself. You're Chief Executive Officer of Afghanistan. Usually, companies have Chief Executive Officers. What is a Chief Executive Officer of a country? What does it mean?
During the talks before the agreement on the formation of national unity government, you know, our elections was a complicated one. And then we decided, both of us, Dr. Mohammad Ashraf Ghani, currently the President of Afghanistan, and myself, which were, both of us were two lead candidates in the first round and also in the second round, to form the national unity government. There wasn't a precedence of chief executive role in our system, and it was not envisaged in our constitution. So it is like the role of a prime minister, but what is anticipated in 2 years' time after the parliamentary elections and district council elections to have a grand assembly and then the constitutional lawyer jirga to amend the constitution to enshrine the post of executive prime minister constitutionally. Now it is based on an agreement. So it's like a prime minister, but not exactly.
At the moment, as you said, Ashraf Ghani is president. Are the two of you, in terms of your powers, equals? Is he your boss? Or are you, because you're called chief executive, the man with the real power?
No, he is the boss. He's the president of the country. And in Farsi, we have a very, very, very nice expression. Since we have quite a few distinguished Afghan colleagues of us here, two kings cannot get into one territory. So he's the president of the country, and I am the chief executive, and the role of chief executive is defined in that agreement.
I'm interested in the nature of the division of powers, the nature of this role, because it intrigues me. It's no secret, and you alluded to it a moment ago, that Ashraf Ghani and you fought a bitter, you called it complicated, it was a bitter, hotly contested election. Your supporters, when the results came out, said it was a coup. Today, have you miraculously become friends, or is this an arrangement of convenience?
Yeah. Unlike myself, that I have a few words in English that I can express myself, you have a variety of way of describing it.
Now you're suddenly coming up with a wonderful excuse. I said that you were very clever with your words, and this is proof of it, isn't it?
No, it was important for the country that we join hands. It was very important for the country. And now we are working together in the business of governance. Even when it is not national unity government or anything like it, you have discussions, you have debates, you have even arguments, but you have a bigger vision and big ideas for your country, and you want to deliver, and the people are expecting you to deliver. So that's the utmost in my mind, and we are working together, and we are obliged to make it work. We are obliged. There is no other alternative. And I'm happy to be the chief executive, but in the unity government, but don't translate it as such that always I have happy times.
Absolutely, and it's that I want to pick up on, because I know for a fact that you were rivals and that you had huge differences between each other when you were fighting that contested election. What are the key differences that still remain?
I would say that as far as the vision of the country was concerned, there were no big differences even then. When it comes to the way that we work, the characteristics of leadership and so on and so forth, we are two different people, but working together for a common purpose.
Now, you said a moment ago, you quoted a Farsi proverb, no country can have two kings. Actually, the problem is Afghanistan has three. There's also Mr. Karzai, and it's his intriguing role that I want to come to. Some people say that one reason why your cabinet is still not complete, even though 6 months is over, is because Mr. Karzai wants to put people in there and you're not very happy to have them. Others say he's not the ghost behind the throne. He's often the rebel leader in opposition as well. So what role does Mr. Karzai play?
In fact, this morning, before coming here, there was a big gathering in the memory of one of our martyrs 20 years ago, Ustad Mazari, which was killed by the Taliban, assassinated by the Taliban. And we were together, sitting side by side. And for the sake of honesty, I should say that he said that you're going to the right place. give them my salams. That's what he said. And he remembered his 2005 India Today Conclave. No, he has not announced an opposition. Of course, as a leader in the country which has served as the president of the country for 13 years in difficult times, easy times and difficult times, he has a role. And he has his own supporters. But the reason behind the formation of the cabinet, that's not the reason that he wants to have his own people in the cabinet. But that's a different issue, cabinet and formation of the cabinet. We have a clear mandate from the people, and if there is an opposition to this government, it will be loyal opposition, legitimate opposition, and because I have spent 7 years or more in the opposition. Post 2006, when I left the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the government, for 1 or 2 years I was not in the opposition. Then I became a candidate. So I have a sympathy for the opposition, and we will facilitate for the opposition to be thriving one, to be energetic one. That's not a concern.
Let's then come, Dr. Abdullah, to India-Afghanistan relations, because one of the things that has happened since Ashraf Ghani took over just about 6 months ago is that India and Afghanistan seem less close than they did, and Afghanistan and Pakistan seem a lot closer than they used to be. And it's not just Indian papers that have picked this up. The Economist has written about it, and Mr. Karzai has spoken about it. And my question to you is, are you happy with this outcome, or are you perturbed by it?
I would say that the foundation for relations between Afghanistan and India is very strong. And it is part of our national security interest. And you have helped us. And your aim in Afghanistan is to see a functioning government chosen by its own people, elected by its own people, a stable Afghanistan which is not a hub for terrorists, in Afghanistan which can facilitate prosperity in the region. If I may sum up the goals of India in Afghanistan, and these are very much in line with what we are trying to achieve in our country. So the foundations are very strong. Don't ever judge that strong foundation of friendship and partnership between Afghanistan and India based on a few things which is happening elsewhere, regardless of the countries around us. There is a tendency that sometimes the relations of Afghanistan with a particular country is being judged.
You don't want to name the particular country, do you?
I can. And
Go ahead.
The point is that we did have a problem with our neighboring country, Pakistan, earlier. And it's important for Afghanistan, it was important for Afghanistan to make efforts to correct relations. And also we are dealing with the common threat, which is terrorism and radicalization. And to deal with the common threat which is posed up against us, and also to utilize the opportunities which are there for all the peoples of this region, Afghanistan have made efforts in the past few months, and it has been reciprocated by our neighboring country, Pakistan. But that does not suggest by any means, at any time, under any circumstances, that we will sacrifice our friendship with India for the sake of our relations with another neighboring country.
I hear what you're saying, and I accept your line that the foundations are strong. It's the nature of the new structure that Mr. Ghani is building on those foundations that perhaps suggests something else. Just look at the facts as I present them to you and then answer me. It's 6 months nearly since Ashraf Ghani came to power. He hasn't come to India, he's been to Pakistan. When he went to Pakistan, he broke with protocol. He drove to army headquarters to meet General Raheel Sharif. Since then, General Raheel Sharif has visited Kabul several times. Yes. Mr. Ghani has also withdrawn the Afghan wish list to acquire equipment and military vehicles from India. Now he's in fact going to send Afghan army cadets.
What does all that mean?
Well, that's what I'm coming to.
All that means that we have a lot of issues to discuss.
It actually suggests that in fact there is a marked shift towards Islamabad and perhaps a slight lessening of the relationship towards Delhi. To me, that's what those facts suggest. I want to ask you, what do they suggest to you?
I can come back on my point. It suggests that there were a lot of challenges in our relations between Afghanistan and Pakistan earlier, and that recognition in Afghanistan was there earlier as well, and the opportunity was not there. When that opportunity was embraced by Pakistan, we welcomed it. Again, I repeat my point that let's assume another situation. That's what we expect from our relations with Pakistan. That together we will be able to deal with issues of terrorism. And Taliban terrorist groups do not receive support from Pakistan. And as a result, Afghanistan moves towards stabilization and normalization of the situation. Isn't this in the interest of India? Or isn't this in the interest of our relations with India? It's in the interest of the whole region.
Without doubt. I accept and hear and believe what I'm hearing from you. The problem is, Mr. Karzai doesn't agree. Just 4 days ago, in an interview to The Guardian on the 9th of March, Mr. Karzai said that Ashraf Ghani has made unthinkable concessions to Pakistan. He said Afghanistan was in danger of coming under Pakistan's thumb.
Afghanistan will not be in danger of coming under any country's thumb. In terms of views of former President Karzai, I respect his views. It's not the only thing that we have difference of opinions. On the basics of it, on the foundations of it, he's talking about national interest, and we are talking about national interest. Whether these efforts of the Afghan government means a shift in policy and changing the foundations of relations with other countries, that I don't agree. Nothing has happened. No compromise has ever been made on the national interests of Afghanistan, so the people of Afghanistan will start getting concerned. And it will not happen that way.
But you know,
if it is cooperation, if it is working together in dealing with terrorism, everybody will benefit from it.
Except once again, I have to quote President Karzai, former President Karzai, because he thinks some compromises have been made. He said, and I'm quoting him, this is the interview to The Guardian on the 9th, "We should not send troops for training in any neighboring country when they are sending us suicide bombers in return."
I have read those statements, and I mentioned my views about it. The efforts of us are aimed at no country sending suicidal people to our country. Isn't this a noble cause?
Your former colleague, the former foreign minister, Rangin Spanta, this time talking to The Economist about the special visit that Ashraf Ghani made when he broke protocol and drove to army headquarters in Rawalpindi to meet Raheel Sharif. This is what Rangin Spanta said to The Economist. Nothing he has done has caused more dishonor to Afghanistan.
Dr. Spanta has looked at it purely from the protocol point of view. in relations between countries or more than protocol.
Now, I'm going to broaden the subject. It's widely known and widely understood that what I perceive as a tilt towards Pakistan, which you don't see as a tilt, is actually motivated by Mr. Ghani's thinking that Pakistan can facilitate a dialogue with the Afghan Taliban, who you know and I know virtually live in Quetta as guests of the Pakistan government. But the key question is this: do you believe Pakistan will act as honest brokers, or are they actually seeking to replace your government with one of the Taliban? Because remember, they were the backers and supporters of the Taliban in the early 90s, and they believe their interests might be best represented if the Taliban get back to power. So are they honest brokers, or are they seeking to supplant and replace you?
We don't want to be pessimistic. We don't want to be too overjoyed because of what is happening. We will be realistic, and anything which has been promised will be tested. And if there was a situation that Taliban didn't receive any support from our neighboring country, Pakistan, we welcome it, whether it is individuals or whatever. If there is a situation that Taliban accept the reality that war is not the solution and they come to the negotiating table, if they are convinced or if they are persuaded, that will be a good start. But we have a long way ahead of us, not only in terms of stabilization of the country, but at the same time in terms of dealing with our neighboring countries.
Two quick questions there. Who is the critical man in Pakistan who is going to facilitate your government's talks with the Taliban? Is it Nawaz Sharif and his government, or is it actually Raheel Sharif? And is that why that drive to army headquarters was so important? I mean, who is it that you're putting your faith in?
We have the same message from the civilian authorities in leadership in Pakistan as well as military.
But whose voice speaks louder to you?
I think I don't underestimate your knowledge of the situation in our neighborhood, so I wouldn't go further than that. But Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, before his elections and also after, reiterated time and again his commitment to help and to cooperate with Afghanistan in dealing with the menace, which is not just projected towards Afghanistan, but towards Afghanistan and Pakistan both.
And what exactly is it that the civilian government and the army in Pakistan have promised to do? Ahmed Rashid, writing recently for the BBC, has said that he believes that they have promised in December that they will actually facilitate talks. But 3 months have passed and those talks still haven't started. So have they actually promised to facilitate talks with the Quetta Shura, with Mullah Umar or something like that? And have they given a date by when it will happen? Or is this all still hanging in the air?
When General Raheel Sharif came to Kabul, he announced that the enemy of Afghanistan is the enemy of Pakistan. We welcome that statement. And again, the government of Pakistan have expressed its willingness to be cooperative and helpful in that regard. Date, when it will happen, how it will happen, under what sort of circumstances and where, remains to be seen.
Are you happy for this process to envisage the possibility of Mullah Omar back in power in some shape and form? That's what he wants for sure. And that's what Pakistan would like.
It's quite a few 1 or 2 years since anybody hasn't heard anything directly from Mullah Omar. That is also one fact of life. I'm not suggesting anything around it, but this is how it is. But this is what the majority of the people of Afghanistan want: a dignified, durable, just peace. That's not just President Ghani or former President Karzai or myself or unity government. That's the absolute majority of the people of Afghanistan. Dignified, durable, lasting, in just peace, with the commitment, with the assurance the achievements of the people of Afghanistan will be preserved in the Constitution of Afghanistan respected.